Rounding and estimating. So when we round numbers, we need to know our place value. So I'm just going to write 3 digits down and then a decimal. And then we'll go to 5 spots after the decimal. Let's just fill in what these are. That first spot is the hundreds. The next spot is the tens. And then the ones. And then after that, for all of these, we're going to use THS. So the next one's going to be tenths, hundredths, thousandths, ten thousandths, and then hundred thousandths. So again, everything after the decimal has a THS. And when we round, we want to only look at the number to the right. So think about the digits we have on 0 through 9. We could have a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or we could have a 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 9. So that lower half, the 0 through 4, these keep it the same. They round down, which actually keeps that place value the same. And these 5 numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, they are going to round up because they're more than half. Or they're the upper half. So for example, if we wanted to round, let's say 2.1637 to the, let's say, hundredths, we would underline the hundredths place and then look to the number to the right of it. So for instance, this is tenths, hundredths. So I'm going to underline that hundredths place, the 6. I'm going to look to the number to the right of it, the 3, and it's in this group. It's the lower half, so we're going to keep that hundredths place the same. So it would just be 2.16. Notice I don't put any extra digits there. I don't need the thousandths or the 10,000ths place. I just stop there. Now if we were rounding that same one to the thousandths place, then I would write my 2.1637 down again. And it goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So I'm going to underline that spot, the 3. I look directly to the number right of 3. It's a 7. 7 is part of the upper half, so we're going to round it up. So instead of it being 2.163, it's going to be 2.164. That's how we would round it to the thousandth spot. All right, now if we're rounding to estimate, let's say you go to the store and you buy 3 things, and you want to see about how much you're going to have to spend if you check out. Let's talk about how to do that. Let's say you want to get a skateboard, and that skateboard cost, let's say, $68. and 49 cents. And then you're pretty thirsty, so you want to get a case of Powerade. Let's say that Powerade for the whole case cost $14.29. And then you realize there's a video game you've been wanting to get, so you also purchase a video game. And we'll say that video game cost $48.99. All right, looking at these numbers, we want to make sure and round them. So since these all go to 2 decimal places, actually I'm looking at the 10. Since it goes to the tens place, we can probably round them to the tens and get a quick estimate. So looking here, if I underline the 6, the 1, the 4, and round them to the tens place, that 8 rounds the 6 up to $70. The 4 keeps it a 1, so that would be $10. And the 8 rounds the 4 up to a 5, so it's $50. And now these are real easy to add. So 70 plus 10 is 80, plus 50 is $130. And this represents my estimate. Now let's say we go to the cashier and they actually check us out. So let's add these up and see what that would be. So this would be the actual. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 gives us 27. Carry the 2. We get 6, 8, 17. Bring the decimal straight down. 13 plus 8 is 21. Carry the 2. 8, 9, 13. So the actual would be 131.77. Check to see if it's reasonable. Are these close? Yes, they are. So we would say that is reasonable. If it's not reasonable, you probably rounded incorrectly. So always check to make sure it makes sense. Great, you got it. All right, another way to round is using front-end estimation. No, not front-end alignment. Front-end estimation. All right, for front-end estimation, a couple of steps here. We want to add the numbers in the front, that's where the name comes from, of the decimal. So for example, if we were adding up 3.84, 2.19, and then let's say 4.72. The first thing we would do is just add these front numbers, the numbers in front of the decimal. So 5 plus 4 is 9, and we would get 9. Now the second step is we want to round the decimal part to the nearest tenths. And then we're going to add them. So I'm going to round the 0.84. I'm going to underline the tenth spot. I'm going to round that to 0.8. I'm going to round the 0.19 to 0.2. And I will round the 0.7 to 0.7. So they just stay the same. And I'm going to add those up. And 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 7 is 17. So that's 1.7, because I just bring that decimal straight down when I add or subtract. Then my last step is I want to add these two numbers together. So 9 plus 1.7. So we're just adding those two sums. The first sum, the front end, and then the tenths. So 9 plus 1.7 gives us 10.7. That's just another way of estimating. All right, let's say you follow sports and you are looking at your superstar player that you like for basketball, and these are the scores on his first 5 games. Let's say your superstar player gets 32 points, 29 points, 33, 28, and 31 points in his first 5 games. Not too bad for this guy, huh? Hey, don't judge me. All right. I'm sure you got game. So, what's a good way that we could find the total? So, find the total points. Well, what do you notice when you look at these points? Hopefully you notice they're all really close together. What number are they close to? 30. So basically we have 5 groups of 30. And what does groups of mean? Multiply. So 5 groups of 30 means 5 times 30. 5 times 3 is 15. Add the 0, we have 150. So the total points would be about 150. And to show that I'm rounding, I should use a squiggly to show that it's about 150. This is called clustering. So clustering is simply finding the groups of the number. So it's when they're all about the same number. They're all clustered together. So clustering is when numbers are close together or clustered together. We multiply by how many numbers there are. So that 5 came from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that he played in. Oh, you didn't realize he was so tall. You can just drop it in. No wonder he scored so many. So next time you shop, make sure you estimate before you check out.